What's up, my fellow Trashinators? You're high up now, because my ring light can actually go up this high. It's not on my bed anymore. You would be right here if you were on my bed, but you're not. Why am I out of breath from just standing up? I don't know. I don't move around a lot. Not anymore. But yeah, we're up here now. My chair and desk is still here. Matter of fact, I got my fan still on because I have on my desk normally, and it's so very nice. It's nice and cool. Personally, there's the fallen. He's just on my light. I'm pretty sure I shared a photo of him before, but you're not here for this, or maybe you are. Thank you for being invested in my life, whether it's malicious or not. I don't know. You probably don't care about me though, but you care about what I'm talking about, which is the new movie, thought to be canceled but then renewed by Netflix, Nimona. Now, I didn't feel good last Friday. I didn't look good. I didn't take care of myself. You can tell I'm not really in the best condition right now, but I'm not as bad as I was last Friday. But I've been pretty busy this week. Some pretty busy stuff. See, I'm not used to this. I have done one video standing up, I think. I think it's one video, but I've privated it because it had my last name in it. I think I privated it, but I cannot remember, but no last name. Yeah, I didn't sign this, so my last name's on that either, so not doxing myself. But yeah, so since I didn't do a video like this last Friday, I had nothing to do and I was bored, so I heard about Nimona. I've had my eye on it. I was invested. I thought it looked cool. I liked the storybook look to it. It was very like simplified, but you know, very like impact. It had an impact to it. So I just watched it. I watched it and I fell in love, because anyone who has watched this movie will tell you it is perfect. Because I don't use that word much when it comes to like movies. I've only used it once before, and that's with the Batman with Robert Pattinson, because it is a perfect movie. It's like perfect all the way through. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you can critique it, but it's perfect, and that's what I say for this movie. Now, I think the main thing most people would critique Nimona with is the animation. It is really good, but I think for some people, it's too clean and simple. Like, there's not a lot of details. Oh, excuse me. I haven't taken some of my medication in a couple days. I'm going through withdrawal, so I'm very snotty. So yeah, when the trailers first came out and some leaked footage, because I didn't know that happened. Apparently a year ago, some footage leaked of the movie because it was canceled at one point. So I feel like that's better because my chair's in the way. Actually, I can put it over here. Give me some. There we go. It's my non-binary flag, if you didn't know. So yeah, it's better. Sorry, this is a work in progress. I've never done it like this. It was either on like a weird setup, but this actually works. Got my fan too. This is great. So yeah. What was I talking about? When those things came out, the movie, for some people, it looked unfinished. And I could say it did a bit, but it's just simple. It's going for a storybook, a children's storybook, a picture book aesthetic. So it's clean, it's simple, that's what it's going for. It wants to tell that sort of visual story, but in a new fashion that tells you really good morals and like a really great story to it. And that's what we're gonna get to, because besides the animation, there's nothing else to like really critique it for, because the humor, the story, it's all fantastic. So let's get to it. Now the story opens up with an actual like picture book. It tells us of a story about a woman and her village being attacked by monsters, and she became the first knight. And she told the monsters to get out, or I'll stabby, or we'll all stabby you. So they all build up a wall, because you can't just be by yourself. You gotta protect yourself. You can't open yourself to the world, because that's bad. So they build up a wall, and now they're all protected. And the lady, she has a G name. I don't really care. She's a bitch. She made an entire whole group of knights. And so now you got this giant kingdom surrounded with a wall, a giant absolute wall, protected by all kinds of knights. And then we flash forward to 1,000 years later. Not many stories do that. It's usually like 10, 20 years later, 50 at most. No, this movie, 1,000. So that's why they have like holographic screens and phones and tablets in this, because it's that kind of story. It's a realistic story, but in a fantasy setting with realistic elements. So now we're getting to the actual story. That was just like a setup to a larger plot point. So we get to the modern day, where today is the knighting ceremony, where the queen's gonna knight some knights to protect all the kingdom. And the two main knights we're gonna focus on are Ballister and Ambrosius. Ambrosius is a descendant of the main lady, the bitch. And Ballister is the first descendant of like the original knights, or like a king or queen. So he's the first lineage knight. So that's a big deal. Everyone's scared or anxious, and he's anxious too. He's like, we see him first just sitting on like a balcony above the arena, and then Ambrosius comes in like, here's Ballister, just sitting alone, sulking on the balcony of his biggest day of his life. And then they just talk like a couple would, because they are. Two gay men just lovey-dovey. You'll love to see it in a movie, because that's like the main thing about this movie. This is a queer movie. This is for the gays. The gays are coming for your movies, and they love it. We love it. So yeah, that's the main thing about this. The three main characters, two gay men, and a gender fluid monster. And I love her so much. So we're not here for her yet, but we're gonna get to it, because the main characters are actually Ballister and Ambrosius, his love interest. So today they're going to be knighted, and we see them set up. They get their suits of armor on. They get their swords. We see the squire, and it seems like he wants to talk to Ballister. I wonder what that's about, but we don't see that yet. So they go out, and they go out into the arena, and they're ready to be knighted. Of course, Ambrosius, being the descendant of the main lady, he goes first. He makes the whole show. He's like, yeah. So he goes first. He gets knighted by the queen, and then he goes off to the side, and the queen's like, now, Ballister Braveheart, come this way and be knighted as the first non-lineage knight, because today is your big day. So he goes up anxious as all hell, and then he gives her his sword, gets on his knee, and again, he gets knighted. So he's officially a knight. And as she's making this big speech as to announce that now anyone can be a knight, as long as they train hard and get into the government or whatever it's called. The Institute. It's called the Institute. And after that big speech, Ballister just has his sword in his hands. He's grabbing it by the blade. And then suddenly, the pommel opens up. And it just becomes a big old fuck you laser. Kills the queen. Destroys like the lighting and the sound system above. Ambrosius grabs his sword, cuts off Ballister's right arm, and then it's quiet for a moment, and people are like, he killed the queen. His arm's gone. And then Ambrosius is like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So that's when the whole place comes down. Things fall. The hole opens up. Ballister goes in the hole and runs away. And that's when the movie finally starts. No more setup, no more nothing. We pick up back with Ballister. He's in a hideout. He's wanted. He's a fugitive for killing the queen. I don't know why I'm so out of breath. Sorry. It's very new to me. It's new to me to be standing and talking this much, as you can probably tell. So yeah. Anyway, so we see Ballister. He's making a bionic arm. He attaches it, and then someone knocks on the door, like, hey! So Ballister goes, grabs a broken bottle, and he's like, you can't see it. I'm trying to character act right now, but you can't see it because it's my face. My ugly face. I'm not that bad. So yeah, he goes to the door, he opens it, no one's there. But suddenly behind him appears, Nimona. So the title character finally comes in, and she's not the main character. She's still not. She's just a side character that drives the plot forward. That's why she's on the title, because it wouldn't be the same movie. It was called Ballister, Pretend Villain, because that actually doesn't sound too bad. That's not a bad sounding name, but Nimona is more catchy, especially since she's more fun, kinda. It depends on what you like. I'm more of the big, lots of teeth, mouth, chaotic characters. That's my wheelhouse. If you know anything about my art, you should check it out. Go to the description, check out my art. My art commissions are still open. Give me money, please. But you don't have to. So yeah, we were introduced to Nimona. She wants to be Ballister's sidekick because she thinks he's a villain. He's not. And to prove it, he goes to Ambrosius and immediately goes into jail. He gets arrested. Gets his arm thrown out and is put in jail. And then the director of the Institute, she's like the main lady. She has a staff. She's like I don't know. She looks like a evil queen, kind of. So yeah, she comes in, she's like, I'm so disappointed. I never trusted you, but the queen wanted to give you a chance. Fuck you for doing that, and bye-bye. You're going to rot in jail forever. Bye! So yeah, that happens, and then Nimona comes in. She, we'll see later, but like, we all know, I should probably say spoilers, but every video I do, gotta watch out for spoilers. Gotta watch out for them. Not even on my channel. Just be wary of spoilers everywhere, because you'll be spoiled by things you didn't even know was spoilable. Excuse me. It's hard to breathe. Might still have asthma, but whatever. So yeah, Nimona comes in by shapeshifting into a rat and beating up all the guards on the way in. Well, she beat up the guards and then came in as a rat as to not be, you know, detectable by the director. So she breaks out Ballister. They're leaving, but of course they broke him. She broke him out. So now they are getting chased, and they're doing it. They're doing good, and then all of a sudden they come face to face with Ambrosius, and Nimona's like, Ballister's like, Nimona's like, this dickhead cut off your arm, and then she's like, Nemesis, and Ambrosius is getting mixed signals like, are you even the man I fell in love with? But and it kind of all falls apart. This dickhead of a knight comes in and is like, get him, and they all Ballister and Nimona go into a closet because she thought it was a door. She couldn't have known better. So they're in there. Nimona just locks it off with a pipe she broke off because she's basically a god, you know? I already did a spoiler warning, but that's what she is. She's indestructible and all powerful, and yet she likes to masquerade as a teenager. We'll talk about it later. So she breaks down a pipe very impressively, I would say. It's like an actual pipe, not like a rusted one. Where it's not a detail that matters. So she talks about her as like, you gotta keep a secret. You gotta promise me not to freak out. And he's like, all right, cool. What's going to happen? And she's like, promise you won't freak out even with the horn. He's like, what? What horn? And she's like, promise. And he's like, all right, promise. And she transforms into a rhino, breaks out, knocks out all the guards. Ballister's like, whoa, and starts running away, trying to get away from her. But it's Nimona. She tries to help him out because that's her boss. So they're going around just trying to get out. She's shape-shifting everywhere. Just, I'm a sea otter. Blah, 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 blah. And then they get out and the place explodes. I'm not joking. That actually happens. That's when one of my favorite parts of the movie happens, and they got out, they're in the woods, and the place explodes, and Nimona's like, metal. Everyone's seen that part. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. Give me a second. It's so metal. Anyway, so yeah, after that, Ballister passes out. Nimona takes him back to the hideout. Ballister comes to terms with the fact that Nimona shapeshifts and is not people. And then they make a plan to see what to do next. So they make up a plan to go to... Excuse me. They make up a plan to go to the Squire, because he must know something. Because the sword, yeah, that's what the Squire does. He helps out with the sword. So yeah, so they they try and find out try to go to the Squire. He's like in a place, and they're trying to go to him. They're in an alley when they do a practice alarm system for a monster. So they're like, uh-oh, there's wanted posters everywhere. We have to go underground to the subway system. So they take the subway system, but there's guards checking your face because they have cloaks. which I wish were more mainstream. I want to wear a cloak everywhere, but I got suffice for a hoodie. But not in these temperatures. No. Yeah, that was my fan. It's hot. So yeah, let's see. So Nimona distracts them by pretending to be Ballister, and she gets all the guards away. They go on the train and they leave, and they're going to the market. But there's a camera. They saw where they're going and they know what's going on, but they don't really care about the shapeshifter and the rat. All they care is about Ballister because they think he's the one who killed the queen. So while on the train, Nimona and Ballister are having a heart-to-heart where Nimona's like hinting at a sort of backstory for why she has her powers and what it's like to have them. The knights are already at the market, or like the place that goes to the market, ready to get them. But luckily, Nimona shapeshifts, turns into a gorilla, jumps out of the train, and then they go to the market, find the squire. Excuse me. While Ballister is hiding away from Ambrosius and the knights, Nimona transforms into a little boy and tries to get the squire. Tries to kidnap the squire. Doesn't work. Then Ballister comes in with a stolen car, accidentally knocks the guy out by hitting him, puts him in the trunk. Him and Nimona go away and go to a safe place because they're getting shot at by the knights with like electric machine gun crossbows. Like, it's really cool. So they find a safe space. Or a place that is safe enough to where they can interrogate the squire. But of course, they were shot by crossbows. So, Nimona has an arrow in her leg. It's not a big deal. She literally had a frying pan thrown at her face while she was trying to kidnap the squire, and it didn't hit her. It was like. It doesn't matter. She's a god. She's like an actual god, power-wise. Sometimes so there's like this old interview with Stan Lee where he's talking about, what superhero is more strong? What superhero would win against this guy? And Stan Lee was like, it doesn't work like that. Whoever's the favorite, or whoever is the main character, or whoever has to win the fight so the story can continue, that's the one who's going to win. It doesn't matter about powers or whatever. So that's why so many stories are inconsistent when it comes to powers, is so that the story goes on. So that's why Nimona can, at one point, get a frying pan in the face and not be phased at all, while flying. A little arrow in her leg shows up after she shapeshifted. So it wasn't there before, it's there now, because we gotta build up character. It's honestly not bad. It's a good character moment that makes sense. It's just not followed through earlier in the movie. I guess it's like an error, because later we'll have another error moment, and that's like the only one I could think of, or I know of. So, Ballister's like, you have an arrow in your leg. So they have this tender moment where he takes it out, and he's like, why aren't you reacting? And it's so adorable. She's like, I'm not people. I love that. I love that little character moment where they just finish talking and their mouth's still open. I'm not people. It's such a good point of animation. It's one of my favorite points of animation ever. It's the character finishes talking, and they just have their mouth open. It's like so funny to me. I don't know why. So yeah, after that, the squire's like, hey, get done with your softy moment and interrogate or kill me. So they interrogate him. They find out, the director swapped the sword. So they gotta go and find out what the deal is. They take his phone, which had the evidence, and they go and we have another moment where Nimona is talking to Ballister after he finds it out, and Ballister's like, I gotta show this to Ambrosius and tell him what's going on. The director's bad. And Nimona's like, no, no, no. The whole system's bad. If you take out the director, someone else will come in her place, which we see by the dickhead knight. I think his name's Kyle. Of course it's Kyle. So yeah, they have that moment where we see Nimona's badass anarchism. Me, myself, communist. So yeah. So they go to see Ambrosius, and this is where we get the scene with the error. It's probably the most famous one in this movie. We see Ambrosius and the director in a car going to their headquarters, and they're in the car, and the director is like, "You seem sad. What's going on?" And Ambrosius is like, "Yeah, I chopped off the love of my life's arm. Apparently, my best friend now has a new best friend. I'm upset because if I do what you want, I betray him. But if I do what he wants, I betray you. And you guys are really important to me because of my bloodline." But turns out that was in his head, and he's like, "I'm fine. It's alright." So yeah, they land. Ballister's there. Nimona takes out the guards. They start talking. Ballister's like, "Hey, I have proof I didn't kill the queen." He goes to reach for his phone, which apparently he had on his left side, which makes sense, but he went to reach it with his right hand, so it looked like he was reaching for a weapon, like he had a sword there, because that's where he would have, no, he has his sword on his right hip at the end of the movie, whatever. So yeah, he goes to reach for the phone on his left hip, so it looks like he's going for a weapon. And the director's like, "He has a weapon!" And the dickhead guard comes in, shoots the phone, evidence destroyed, even though they could probably get it back. I'm sure the hard drive's not destroyed. So yeah, so now they're like, uh-oh, alright, don't be mean to Nimona. Here's what she is, and she shapeshifts into a gorilla, and they all start fighting, and then we get to the end where things are getting drastic. They're all Nimona and Ballister are starting to being taken down. But then Nimona notices it and just trashes everything. Turns into a giant cereal dragon. Also, by the way, I'm not sure what the deal is with the cereal dragon, because earlier we saw an ad for it, and it had the Banana Splits song. You know, the Boomerang show with the animal mascots went like la 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 la. What's the deal with that? I thought that was like copyrighted or whatever. I was reaching for my chair. I was gonna like lean on it. So yeah, I don't know what the deal. I thought it was like copyrighted. Do they get the rights for it? I'm not sure. Just a bit of information I'd like to find out. So yeah. So yeah. They get out after Nimona has a little trauma accident where she transforms into her child form after saving a girl. The girl picks up a sword that was on the ground, and she's like, "I'll kill you, monster." And then the mom comes, takes her, and now Nimona's like... And then Ballister comes in and saves her. Goes to the hideout. Excuse me. I'm about to forget most of the story, so it's going to take a minute. So they go to the hideout. Nimona's like... And Ballister's like, "Whoa, wait, that's my couch." He doesn't say that, but it's funny. So now I'm forgetting. Something happens. They have another heart-to-heart. And then they make a plan, I think. I'm not sure what they do. Or I'm not sure what happens. something, I think, okay, I think they make a plan, and this is when we lead up to, we go to the Ambrosius storming in on the director's office, and he's like, everyone get out but you. They all get out, and he's like, what's going on? Was Ballister right? And then the director just tells a sad story about her being scared about being potentially attacked, because that's always what it is. It's a fear that drives the bad guy. Because she grabs Ballister's actual sword that was in hiding, stabs Ambrosius, and she's like, oh yeah, I set the sword up, I killed the queen, I set up Ballister. And Ambrosius dies, but then we find out it's not Ambrosius, it's Nimona, shapeshifted as Ambrosius. Of course, we know because he was like super exaggerating his death scene, like. So yeah, Ballister has a video of her saying that, and then him and Nimona go off. They upload the video, and now everyone knows that the queen did it. Of course, it's still ambiguous because you can get sued for saying something's true when it is, but it's still technically ambiguous, but it's not. Things are tricky like that. So yeah, they upload the video. Everyone's like, oh, the queen's the bad guy now. To the point where actual Ambrosius comes in with a bunch of knights, tries to arrest her, but she found an old scroll with information to the point where after Nimona and Ballister rightfully party, maybe a bit soon, technically by movie standards, but rightfully they did something right. So after they're done celebrating and it's getting all sleepy and they're still drinking sodas and like hanging out, watching a horror movie. Ambrosius sends Ballister a message where he's like, we have to talk. So they go to a bar. They have a minor heart-to-heart at the beginning, like, oh, I'm so sorry what I did to your arm. I'm so sorry this is happening. We can make it right. We can make everything right. You can be a knight again. And Ballister's like, all right, cool. That sounds really great. So we gotta figure out what to do with the director now. And he's like, no, not the director. Your friend. She's been lying to you. Because look at this scroll that clearly shows the first knight pointing a sword directly at a really big monster, with child Nimona in the center. And he's like, what? And Ambrosius is like, you have to stop her. We have to stop Nimona. Ambrosius is like, no, he's my friend. She's my friend. She's my friend. And they're like, they have a falling out, basically. This is where the point where they fall out. So Ballister goes back to Nimona. They have a fight because the scroll, but Nimona's like, come on, you know me now. You know me now. You know I wouldn't do this. But he's like, you told me to be critical of everything. And she's like, yes, but you know me now. The scroll's from 1,000 years ago. You know me. So they have a falling out, but Kyle tracked them down because they were in public when Ambrosius and Ballister were talking about it. So he just followed them back to the safe space, the safe house. And this is when the movie kicks into fourth gear, or third gear. No, it's definitely the, I forgot the term, but it's like in the fourth part. This is when the things, it's in the third stage. You got the first, second, third, fourth. They're in the third. This is when things are getting ramped up. This is like the climax. So Nimona runs off. Balancer is being beaten by all the knights, being like, "This is your fault. This is your fault." So Nimona goes off. She finds the well from earlier because that was in her backstory she was talking about. It turns out she didn't get her powers from it, or at least that's not. They don't say that, or they don't clarify it. But then the well is significant because that's when she found her friend. Because even though she can shapeshift, she can't really find a friend. But she finally finds one by this other girl who was at the well. They meet and they become friends. They're hanging out, they're both humans. But then one time when they're picking apples, Nimona shapeshifts into a bird to get an apple to give it to her. She's a little scared, but she's like, "Oh, I know you. You're all right. I like you. This is fine. This is who you are." She accepts Nimona, and they're just friends until one day they're no longer playing outside of the village. They roll in as Nimona as a bear. They're of course scared because like child bear, no one wants that. But then they find out that it can turn into things and it also looks human. That is like number one fear maker for humans. We all humans hate human-like things. We all hate them. Or human lookalikes. Because that's the main fear besides the unknown, our main fear is human lookalikes. So we do not like that. So now they're even more scared because, what is it? What is it? But it's just Nimona. So they all attack her. Some idiot drops a lantern and sets the whole village on fire. And now it's just Nimona and the girl. And of course, she grabs a wooden sword and it's like, "Go back from whence you came." And then it turns out it's the knight. She blew this all out of proportion. She took a friendship she once loved, but now she understood that, I can use it for power. And she made a whole kingdom out of it. So now Nimona's the monster and she gets all the glory because that's how most things happen. That's how most history is made. So yeah, Nimona now has a trauma response, turns into the actual monster that they depict her as, and just goes on a rampage. Well, it's not really a rampage, it's more of like a storming of the kingdom where she just walks around. She like hits 3 buildings of her own volition. Everyone's already evacuated, so it's fine. She doesn't kill anyone. The closest is, it's Todd. His name's Todd, which is worse than Kyle. So yeah, he's not he has a broken arm. That's the worst she did. So she gets to the statue of Glorith, the knight, that's her name. There's like a main one where she's pointing at the well with her sword, because that's her iconography. "I pointed a sword at a monster, aren't I so cool?" So Nimona gets to it in her dragon form, and she's like, she remembers what she said earlier about, she said something along the lines of, "Most people will see me as a monster and want to stab a sword through my heart, and sometimes I want to lick them." And she actually goes at her with her soul at the sword, and she's like actually going to kill herself. But luckily Ballister's on the sword, puts her hand on her heart, and he's like, "I see you, don't do it." And it works. Of course they're friends, so it works. You can't do that with anyone who's like suicidal. As a serious note, suicide is a real problem in America, across the world, but really in America because things are worse than they seem. So yeah, don't take suicide lightly. Go at it with a full heart and an open mind. So just be careful. So yeah, Ballister stops Nimona from killing herself. But then the director has this big old cannon. She wants to kill Nimona, but also kill like half the kingdom. But Nimona's like, no. And she flies into the cannon, which blows everything up, and the director's the only one who dies. So yeah. But also, Nimona's dead. So, a win-win. So, yeah. Everything's fine now. No more tyrannical ruler. And everyone's mostly happy besides the death of Nimona. So, Balancer goes back to the hideout where he's like, alright, we're gonna do things better, alright? We're gonna make sure everyone is accepted and liked for who they are. He cleans up the hideout, but then there's a knocking, and of course, Balancer thinks it's Nimona. He goes to open the door, no one. But luckily, there's a glowing behind him, and we hear Nimona say, "Hey, boss." And Balancer turns around, and he's like, "Holy shit!" And that's when the movie ends. So yeah, that is Nimona from start to finish. Fantastic movie. A true masterpiece. Okay, it's not a masterpiece, but it's definitely perfect. Alright, it's great. It's a great story about the oppression of a people and then breaking those bonds and becoming freer for it. And the acceptance of others for themselves rather than a set standard that doesn't really work with how life actually works. Because that's the actual like story of Nimona. Most people focus more on like the queerness and the trans inclusivity, but it's more about if there's a bad government, destroy the government and make a new one that's better. That's the main story. So, turns out June was the month for movies about trans inclusive movies that tell you to tear down bad governments. So, that's a win in the book for me, boys. People. So yeah, fantastic, great, absolutely loved it. So yeah, that's like my main like talking point this video is that bad governments need to be destroyed along with the bad people in them. Because that was the main thing I wanted to talk about, because last week the Supreme Court made some bad decisions that nobody liked, especially since some of them were based on false allegations that weren't even true in the first place, like not at all. Like, the people who made up those allegations were, nothing happened. They just made up fake stuff to get what they wanted. And like, absolutely everything was fake about it. They just wanted to change the law. So yeah, that's the main reason I wanted to make this video. Well, the main reason was that this movie is really good, but also that bad governments don't deserve to exist. So yeah, that's about it. Go check out Nimona if you haven't. I spoil everything, but I don't think you really need to worry about spoilers. I mean, you do if you want to actually see the movie for yourself, but you don't care anymore. So go see it. It's on Netflix. So yeah, Disney sucks. I hate the government. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.